Google is on a roll. They have just released this Gemma 3 and E2B instruction tune and various other flavors on Hugging Face. We already have covered its mobile version on the channel where I showed you how to get it installed on any mobile phone. In this video, we are going to install it locally and we will see how exactly this model works because Google has even made some major improvements in this already amazing model. This is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. Gemma 3N is the latest addition to Google's open-weight Gemma family of generative AI models, specifically designed for high-performance on-device deployment. This model has been designed for phones, tablets, and edge hardware. It also supports native multimodal input, text, image, audio, and video, all while maintaining a compact memory footprint. There are a lot of other key innovations which Google has included, and I'll be talking about them shortly. But now, as I speak, let's get it rolling, and I'm going to install it on this Ubuntu system. I have one GPU card, NVIDIA RTX A6000 with 48 GB of VRAM. Let me start by creating a virtual environment with Conda, and you can install this virtual environment with any other tool of your choice. Also, if you're looking to rent a GPU on very good prices, you can find the link to Mass Compute in video's description with a discount coupon code of 50% for a range of GPUs. So please do check them out. Okay, let's go back to my terminal and check it out. Our environment is almost ready. And now let me install all the prerequisites, which simply include Torch, Transformers, Torch Vision, and Transformer. This is going to take a minute. While that happens, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are Camel AI. Camel is an open source community focused on building multi-agent infrastructures for finding the scaling laws with applications in data generation, task automation, and world simulation. All the prerequisites are done. Next up, you need to log into Hugging Face and make sure that you accept the terms and conditions of this model on Hugging Face, and you will find the link in video's description to the model on Hugging Face. And now, in order to log in, you would need to go to your Hugging Face profile and grab your free read token, and you can see that I am logged in with that read token. Let me launch my Jupyter notebook, then we will play around with this model after downloading it locally. So let's wait for it. While it launches, let's talk a bit more about this model, around its architecture and the new features. So as I said, this model is a bit different than the original one which Google released some time back. The key innovations include the matte former or Matryoshka transformer architecture, which uses smaller submodels within the larger ones to enable elastic inference. It also uses something called as per layer embedding, PLE caching, which offloads certain parameters to reduce memory usage without compromising quality. It also supports over 140 languages now and got 32K token context window. Gemma 3N is not only versatile but also efficient. The E2B and E4B versions run with effective parameter sizes of 2 billion and 4 billion parameter models, which is quite good. Okay, now let's load our model. So I'm downloading not only the model but tokenizer and everything related to it, and I'm putting it on my CUDA device. And the model is being downloaded. There are 3 shards of it. While it downloads, let's carry on our discussion of this really good model. So as I said, it is now fully integrated with Hugging Face Transformer. As you just saw, we are downloading it. You can even run it with MLX, Llama.cpp, and Google AI Edge. So one important thing here is that it also introduces KV cache sharing for faster streaming inference. Mix and match parameter customization for fine grained modeling scaling is also supported now. It also has got MobileNet v5 vision encoder that outperforms previous models on real-time video tasks while using fewer resources. Its audio capabilities are powered by Universal Speech Model or USM that enables high quality speech recognition and translation directly on device. So Google has also shared some of the benchmarking information, and it has beaten even some of the 400 billion parameter models. And if you look at the benchmarks, they are very impressive. And the model is now downloaded and also loaded onto our GPU. Let's now first do the inference with this image. So I'm providing it this image from my local system. I'm just asking it what is in the image. I am templating this message, passing the input to the model after tokenizing it, and then model is generating the response, and we are decoding it back and printing it. Let me first show you the image and I will then run it. And this is the image, and model has given quite a high quality response, just in the fashion of edge models, concise but complete. So it is telling us about that image shows a North American river otter. It's lying on its back in shallow water. So yes, I was jesting. So the response is totally wrong. It is not an otter at all. So, but I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to show you as is. Now here is the funny part. The previous version of this same model gave me the correct response when we were testing it out on the mobile phone. So pretty interesting. That's the improved version, which has really broken all the benchmarks. It is giving me the wrong response when running locally on even way bigger VRAM. Okay, so this is another reason that you can't really take benchmarks on their face. But anyway, maybe the image is not good. Let's try out another image. In the next test, I'm asking it what is the traffic condition in the image, and let's also check the VRAM consumption. Wow, so the VRAM consumption is over 22 gig of VRAM it is consuming for this image model. Now you can already tell that for mobile phones and stuff, this might not be helpful, but I think you can. This is more geared towards running on edge devices with a lot of grunt, it seems. They do have the quantized version in GGUF format and low precision, but I was hoping that this model, which is geared towards edge devices, should be of a lower footprint, but that is not the case. And it is interesting that not only it is of higher footprint, but as you can see, it is taking fair bit of time to return us the response. Now this response looks quite good. It is saying the road is completely fit with vehicles, and there appears to be a long lines of cars and buses moving very slowly or stopped altogether. This is quite good. Concise but complete and correct. Okay, next up, let's check out the OCR. So I have given it this image with multiple languages inside, like Russian, Hindi, English, French, Arabic, few others. And I'm asking it to extract the text from this image and identify the language. It's a multimodal model and supports over 140 languages. So let's see. And there you go. It is, you can see that it is not a correct answer. I mean, I don't even have to say it. So I don't think so this one can do the OCR. It can do vision tasks, but I think limited ones. But as far as OCR is concerned, VQA is concerned, it's not at par with the models which we see in the vision family. Now in the next test, I'm checking its audio capabilities. For that, I am giving it this local audio file, and then I am asking it to not only do the transcription but also translation in various languages, and rest of it is simple, where I am just converting it into tokens and then generating the output. So let me run this, and while it runs, let me also play this audio file for you.
Fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Okay, let's check out the output now. And there you go. So this response looks very high quality. So you can see it has correctly done the transcription of the audio. It has translated it into Hindi, and it has done the Indonesian and Arabic as per Google translate quite well, but I would also need your advice if you are that native language speaker, to tell me if it is correct or not. Okay, now let's also test out the video capabilities. Now for the video file, I'm just going to use my own video here, where I'm speaking something in this microphone, and then there is some background and all that stuff. Okay, let me take you back. And I'm using the similar sort of code where I am giving it the path to my local video, and then I'm asking it describe what is happening in this video. Then simply I am pre-processing the tokens and then printing the response. And there you go. You can see that it has given me pretty grounded answer here. That video shows a man speaking into microphone. He appears to be in a room with blinds and on the windows. So it has captured all the surroundings and the environment, and my gestures and postures are also captured very nicely. So I think this is quite good, because for the image and for this sort of video recognition plus audio, this could make a really good companion when it comes to AI powered applications on your edge devices. I think one thing they need to improve is OCR and some of the visual question answering. Other than that, the model is really good. Now you can also do the text generation with it, the plain good old text generation. So you can see that I just asked it up here as what exactly explain how solar panels generate electricity, and it has given me a very good response. I have just cut down the output, but other than that, it looks pretty good. So for example, if you just increase it to max new token to 1200 and run it again, it is going to show us now the longer response. And you can see that now this time it has given me pretty good answer. And if I quickly go through the language, it is quite coherent, it is quite high quality, it's not hallucinating, and the facts are all quite accurate here. So you see, it has generated pretty long text, and then it has not only summarized it, but it has ended it quite well, because some models struggle to end this sort of text. So pretty good answer, I would say. Okay, let's quickly check out one math question to see how exactly this model performs in math. Normally the Google's models are quite okay in the math test. So in this one, I'm just simply asking it that a circle is inscribed in a triangle with sides 13, 14 and 15. What is the radius of the incircle? The correct answer is 4. Let's see how model goes. And there you go. So the model's response is correct, and you can see that it has done some sort of resolution to step by step, which is quite good. Finally, very last one, I'm just going to test it out with one of the coding question, and I'm just going to make it here. Maybe I'll just do this so that it would be multi-line one. So you can see it's not that straightforward of a question. So it is just testing if model can understand the in-place algorithms in Python, and if it can do edge case handling. So it is primarily normally this question is asked in the interview preparations for the developer. So let's see if model is able to get it right. And the model has given us the response, and I already have checked the response is totally correct. I think in the coding one, it has done wonderfully well. Not only key improvements, how it works, and example usage. So look, I think very good model, but there are few issues. Like as we saw, I think the image capability can be improved overall. In some cases it is good, but in some it is not, especially OCR, I would say, multi-language. And other than that, I think it is pretty performant model. One more thing which Google can improve is the memory footprint in GPU. But other than that, very good model, I would say. If you're interested in installing on mobile phone or any other device, just check out these videos which I did a month ago, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy that. Please like the video and share it, as it helps a lot. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the support.